Hi, I'm Mike Stamus. We're here today with RamblinWreck.com with head coach BrIan Gregory of Georgia Tech men's basketball team. Been through an eventful spring and summer trying to move through a transition here in the men's basketball program, and Coach Gregory is here with us for a visit today. Let's turn our attention to the team that you have here now. Has everybody gotten acclimated to your system, the regimen of strength and conditioning, the procedures that you want done with respect to study hall, classes, this, that, and the other? How's everybody working with that? Is everybody on board? Everybody working well with that?
It's been good. The guys have been tremendous. The one thing is we have not gotten into how we're going to play in the system of playing different things. That will occur in the fall. Our first order of business was on a daily basis to start forming the habits that will act as the core for this program. And I think our guys have done a good job of that. Has there been some changes? Yeah, there's been some changes. There always are. Have the guys responded well to them? No question about it. They've had a very good summer. Their strength and conditioning is something that we've emphasized. I always believe that in terms of the starting point of making changes is being well-conditioned, gaining strength, learning some of the lessons that can only be taught in a weight room or through a conditioning session, the camaraderie that's needed to pull guys through and help each other. And I think our guys are doing a good job of that. All I ask them to do every day, Mike, is get a little bit better. And then if you do that 3 weeks down the road, when you look back, then you've made great progress. So that progress that we make on a daily basis may not seem that big or that great or make that big of an impact. But if you put a bunch of those days in a row, now you're moving in the direction we need to move in.
Give us some insight. You had a chance to work with them in individual instruction in the spring. You kind of have a feel for their skills and whatnot. Can you give us some insight into what you've asked those kids to do over the summer, areas they need to improve on to accomplish what you want to this year?
Well, I think one of the big things is establishing the work ethic on a daily basis is so important. Confidence is a funny thing, and the one thing I've learned is the harder you work, the more confidence you get, because you feel like you've prepared well for whatever challenge that you're going to have to meet. And our guys have done a great job on a daily basis of doing that. In terms of individual stuff and skill, the one thing that we always emphasize, because of the pace we play at, the versatility and the ability for guys to handle the ball, make plays off the dribble, perimeter players, the explosiveness and ability to run the court for the big guys, and then just continue to work on their skill package to become a more skilled player. I think the one thing our guys have been able to do is get a lot of shots up. It'll be interesting to see. If you look at some of our shooting percentages, not as good as maybe in relates to how good of a shooter that particular player is. Now, is that because they haven't spent the time shooting? Is that because they've taken poor quality shots? Whatever the case might be, that needs to change. And once we start getting them together, we'll be able to really start implementing some of the key points, which will be more on the defensive end, which is difficult to work on when you're doing individual skill stuff by yourself in the summer.
Right. How has you have your 8 scholarship players and some walk-ons? How has the departure of Brian Oliver changed that flexibility, changed that makeup of your roster and what you want to try to do?
Well, anytime you lose a player, obviously you have to make adjustments. Some positive and then some negative as well. The one thing is I felt that the most important, you got to be able to break it down in terms of what are your objectives. Our objectives this summer was to get in tremendous shape, get stronger, start building some team unity and camaraderie, and for the guys to take ownerships in their workouts and their development. So when it came to the team stuff right now, in terms of where pieces are, it's not really on the priority list. So once we get back in the fall and start getting together as a team, then you start building some of those team concepts in there with everybody there. And by that time, it'll be the 8 guys that we got.
Right.
You know what I mean? Plus the walk-ons that have done a great job for us as well. And so then you start molding and building. Every team is different. Every team has different strengths and weaknesses, tangible, intangible things that will make the difference in a team. You start building that when you get everybody back at the end of August.
Would it be premature to say, before you get all those guys out on the court at the same time, to pinpoint what you expect your strengths to be?
Well, it better be that no one plays harder than we do. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, when you look at it, what's the number one order of business is that we play with unbelievable energy and enthusiasm and passion for the game, for each other, for Georgia Tech. Everything flows from that, and we have to believe in the process, because if you're only concentrating on one objective or an end result, then the process gets lost in that. We do have a game plan and kind of a blueprint for how things need to work in terms of building this thing back up, and if we follow that, then success is going to be at like mile markers along the road.
Given your numbers, are you going to have a tryout, student body tryout to build your numbers?
Do you have any eligibility left yet?
No, I'm afraid not. Probably don't have the skill level that you're looking for either, but just in terms of being able to practice the way you want to, do you feel like you might need to do something like that?
Yeah, we'll probably have to bring in a couple other guys. In the spring, some guys came to the office and wanted to walk on. So, yeah, we'll probably have some workouts and tryouts to try to bring some guys that played some high school basketball into the program. As you said, just in terms of bodies and having guys out there. It's interesting, different coaches have different philosophies. Some guys like to have lower numbers and so forth. We'll be able to figure that out as the time comes. But like I said, if you got a couple months to work on your jump shot, so hopefully you'll be ready to go.
Great. For you personally, I know it's been a whirlwind for you, but is your family in town? How have you gotten acclimated to living here? Is your family here yet full time? How's all that going?
Well, the people of Atlanta have been unbelievable. You always worry moving to a new town and so forth, but the friendliness and the support has been great. We have 2 more weeks of recruiting. My family, my wife and 2 daughters will move down at the end of that time. There's no sense in them being around right now because I'm not around, and so they're spending some time with their family. And that will be big. They're an important part of our program for recruiting visits, meeting with alumni and supporters. We have a lot of activities at the house or with them, and we want to create a family atmosphere in this program. I think that's one of the things that really drew me to Georgia Tech, was the support that I saw within the athletic department, within the administration here, amongst coaches. And we want to have that in our program as well. And so with that, my family becomes an extension of what we do every day here at Georgia Tech.
Now, we know you're a big baseball fan. Have you had a chance even to take in a Braves game or do something like that since you've been here?
I have not. Text message back and forth with John Smoltz a few times in terms of getting together, either going to a game or getting around to golf, and haven't been able to do that either. I am excited about being able to do that down the road. I was able to catch a Yellow Jackets game, earlier in the year through a strike in the first pitch, high and inside, but it was good. And so, there's so many things. This is an unbelievable city, and I just need a little adjustment time and make sure we get things rolling in our program, and then be able to enjoy some of the other aspects of this great city.
Terrific. Coach, thanks for being with us today.